Why should the N-word be banned? I never imagined my own family could be so cruel. Until they turned on my daughter Kesha just for sounding too white. At a family cookout, they laughed at her voice, calling her Carlton and Becky. When I pulled her up to dance with us to some classic R&B, my uncle chuckled, "We done lost Kesha to the suburbs." Her eyes filled with tears. Later that night, she came to me and said, "Mom, they're right. I've been acting white. But that ends now. I want to embrace who I really am. Being black is beautiful." I was proud and excited to help her connect with her culture. That weekend, we went to the Black History Museum and talked about our family's past. She was locked in, asking deep questions about her great-grandparents. When she asked for more, my white husband Mark got her Malcolm X's autobiography to support her. She finished it in 3 days and immediately wanted more. The next Saturday, I took her to a braiding salon downtown for her first cornrows. The stylist ran her fingers through Kesha's hair and smiled. "Now that's a beautiful black girl," she said. Kesha lit up in a way I hadn't seen in years. Our family noticed the change and praised her. She replied proudly in AV, saying she finally felt like herself. But after a couple months, something shifted. She got colder, angrier. She started using the N-word around Mark in a harsh way and slammed doors when he tried to talk to her. One night at dinner, she looked me dead in the eye and said, "You're not even really black for marrying him. You sold out." I should have stepped in, but guilt kept me quiet. Then came the shoplifting. She got caught sneaking earrings into her bag and blamed me for teaching her to love white capitalism. Every time we tried to discipline her, she said we were trying to erase her blackness. Even my mom noticed the change. At Sunday dinner, she finally said, "This isn't right, baby." Kesha snapped back coldly, "Y'all said I wasn't black enough. Now I'm too black? Can't win with y'all." I suggested therapy, but she laughed it off. "That's for white people, Mom." Soon, she started hanging out in sketchy parts of town, coming home later and later, bringing friends who gave off a bad vibe. One night, Mark tried reaching out again, but she snapped, "Don't talk to me, colonizer." I finally told her, "If you keep acting like this, you need to leave." She flipped us off and walked out. She stayed with a friend who kept us posted for a while, but things only got worse. 3 days later, my mom called, panicked. "Baby, Kesha's with a gang. Your nephew says something's going down tonight near the deli on the east side." I yelled for Mark, punched the GPS, and we rushed over. But we were too late. The shooting had already started. Before I could stop him, Mark jumped out of the car, running toward the chaos, screaming for Kesha. That's when I saw her leaning out a car window with a gun. Everything happened so fast, another car sped up, bullets flying. Mark got hit. He spun and collapsed, blood pouring onto the pavement. I ran to him, trying to pull him to safety. Kesha stepped out of the car and said coldly, "One less white man in the world." She didn't even look at him. Just walked by like he was nothing. "This what real black folks do, Mom. You wanted me to be white, I chose my people." I pressed my hands over his wounds, trying to save him. She stood over us and said, "He was never my real dad. This is your fault for marrying him." Through my tears, I screamed, "Being black doesn't mean joining gangs or hurting people. It means being strong, kind, resilient, not this." But the look in her eyes. I didn't recognize her anymore. She told me, "Ain't no good black or bad black. Just black." Cops showed up minutes later, though it felt like forever. They arrested her as she ranted about revolution. Mark died in my arms before help arrived. His final words were a whisper, "Tell Kesha I love her." The gang scattered, leaving her behind to take the fall. I sat there in his blood, sirens screaming around me, realizing I had raised the girl who killed the only father she ever had. The man who taught her to ride a bike, helped with homework, and loved her with everything he had. They gave her 20 years for murder and gang involvement. A week later, she called me from jail, just to mock me. "Do you wish I was white now?"